don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement. Everything I do so instinctive and so passionate. Every word I move so descriptive like an action.
Hi, my name is Asatra Caldwell-Worrell, and I want to congratulate Keith Andrew Network for an amazing 7 years. Keep doing an amazing job, and congratulations.
My name is Raven, professional wrestling superstar, and I want to congratulate Keith Andrew on 7 years of having his own network show. Congratulations, buddy. You proved that anybody can do anything they want as long as they put their mind to it. Quote the Raven, nevermore.
Hey, Keith, it's Mimi Chen from 88.5. How you doing? And just saying peace and love to everyone as we continue on with our quarantine. Have a good one. Stay safe, everyone. Peace out.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Keith Andrew, and this is the 7-year anniversary of the Keith Andrew Network. I'm here with 4 of my good friends. May you allow me to just recount that? Yep, 4 of my good friends. And I just want to say thank you for sticking with us. I know we had a hiccup when we first did a demo one, but hey, anything can happen live. For people who want to know what is my talk show about, and it's the same. Okay, it's not really the same exact message. When I first started my show, it was about, let me look at it like this. The whole point of my talk show is to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities, to never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. Is to prove to them you can stand out to something. So hashtag break the labels. I've been saying that since 2015. Now, if you look back at my early work from 2013, I said, turn myself into an example for people who are deaf, blind, or in a wheelchair. Of course, I got a lot of criticism for that. It's like, first off, you're not blind. Second, you're not deaf. Well, I don't listen, so a lot of people think I'm deaf anyway. And you're sure as hell not in a wheelchair. So how are you an example? And I'm like, well, after 100 episodes, you would think someone would have said to me, hey, Keith, why don't you come up with something a little better? So now I have my new catchphrase. I've been doing this for 7.5 years. I'm officially up to 680 episodes. And I can't wait for my next 20 and we're on the road to 700. And in 3 years will be my 10-year anniversary. And every single time I have a guest on the show, you're supporting 2 things. One, you're supporting a message about people with learning disabilities and disabilities. Or even if you don't have, a learning disability, you just have a disability, you're proving to them you're still capable of doing the same exact work as every single other person on this planet. That you're good enough. And for me, that's number 1, making a statement. Number 2, hey, you're making a new friend out of it. So I hate saying the expression, kill 2 birds with 1 stone, but you're getting 2 things out of it. You're supporting a message and you're making a new friend out of it. Doing a quick highlight of my 7 years, I started in 2013. And when I started in 2013, I did 72 phone interviews. My very first guest was Barbara Goodson. After I had Barbara Goodson, was Rod Reisman, Kerrigan Mayhem, Barry Papik, who is good enough to put up with me. I had a whole bunch of other great people. And I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm talking on the phone. And by the way, I hate talking on the phone because it feels like I'm talking to myself. But the phone's on speaker, and I'm like, I'm still having anxiety attacks. It's not working. So I did a video, and as you see on the reflection of the camera, this was season 1 and season 2. and a lot of people wouldn't be happy with the quality. The reason I did it that way is I wanted to show you there would be a video process throughout the years. If I did it like this from the very beginning, yeah, maybe I would have gotten sponsors and all that, but you wouldn't have seen me become a better person. My people skills improved, and I wouldn't have give myself the confidence to say, look at what I did. 2015, I came over to Skype, and Skype was working with Ecamm. Ecamm is ECAMM. For $40, you can download a third-party recording, so it looks like Fox News, CNN, where it's cut in half. I'm on the right, you're on the left, or if you interview me, I can flip it, and you're on the left, I'm on the right. So, I only do that when people interview me. 5 years later, I came across Zoom. When it doesn't piss me off, it was the timer. Zoom, I have a virtual background. So you see a process for 7.5 years. Say, I was doing phone interviews, from recording from the phone to double screens to actually having a professional background, having great guests, actors, actresses, models, CEOs, people with disabilities, people without learning disabilities. I interview every single person out there. And that's pretty much my story, giving you the quick highlights. I want this to be more interactive, and that's why I asked most of my guests, and I asked you guys to write me your top 10 questions. So whoever wants to ask me questions, I have no cards up my sleeve. You can ask me anything you want. So let's jump right into it. Whoever wants to go first.
All right, well, I'll start off. I gave everybody their 3 seconds to see if they would go first, but they chose not to. So, Keith, what inspires you to do what you're doing? I love what you're doing, and I love the message you're bringing out there. But what inspires you every day to continue to do this? It's wonderful that you're doing, but what keeps you going?
For me, not to sound like an oxymoron, it's I want to become famous, and I want to be remembered for something. This whole thing, my whole show, it's funny, but in a bizarre kind of way. It all started with a birthday wish. When I turned 21, people said to me, when you turn 21, you live only once, and make it a special birthday. And I went, all right. I don't drink. Well, I drink socially, but I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't do drugs. If I have to die, the one thing I would like to have is a couple famous friends. Of course, I reached out to a couple of professional wrestlers, and I got negative responses. Oh, we don't deal with people like you. You're a lowlife. You're parasites. We don't care if you have a disability. So I'm like, all right, how can I do something to say I'm on the same exact level as you guys, but doing it more as a professional? They're saying, hey, it's my birthday. Can I have your friendship? And now that seems weird. So I use my dad for an inspiration. My dad's been an assistant principal for 36 years. He had lunch with Al Pacino. He met Tony Bennett. He worked with Tony Bennett's wife. He went down Canyon Heroes with John Glenn. He met Mayor Giuliani before he sold his soul to the devil. That's a really do a little politic joke there. He had Wesley Snipes in his class. He met the Wayans brothers. And my other brother went on tour, and he did his own thing. And I'm like, if he can do it, and then I can do it too. Only, if you guys are 10s, I will be a 5. And what I mean by that is I learn at a slower pace. So for an example, Barry Patrick, you're an example for this. You teach people, like, here's a piece of paper. You're going to repeat it, memorize it, and then say it. For me, I can do it, only I learn at a slower pace. And because I learn at a slower pace, I would be like, for an example, if you ever had a confrontation with one of your actors, how would you solve that? I would say, can you repeat that? Can you break it down for me? Can you give me an example? Because I learn at a slower pace. It takes me longer. You guys read a script, 2-3 times, okay, I can wing it. For me, it takes like 3-5 times to go over it because I learn at a slower pace. Because I learn at a slower pace, I'm on the spectrum of being retarded. So I'm showing you, hey, look at someone who reads and learns at a 5th grade level, who isn't qualified to work for the state or go to college, and who's going to be a burden for the rest of his life. I'm going to show you that I can amount to something. I'm going to create something to show you and every single person out there, with and without a learning disability, this is what happens when you put your heart into it. And for 7.5 years, that's what I've been doing. And I hope that answers your question too.
Absolutely.
Was there any other questions you want to ask?
I'll give some other people a chance. I have plenty of questions, though.
So the one thing I do want to plug is make sure everyone who's watching subscribe to the YouTube channel, KeithAndrewNetwork.com. Go to the Facebook fan page, same exact name, KeithAndrewNetwork.com. I am now selling, I'm a big fan of Celebrity VM, where you can pay someone to give you a personal shout out. And you guys should definitely be on Celeb VM and Cameo. Pretty much, you would introduce yourself, and if your fans can interact with you and say, hey, it's my birthday, can I get a recommendation? Yes, you get money on the side. We all need money. But you also get to interact with the fans on a personal level. Now, I cut out the middleman. Long story about that. So now I offer my own video service on my website. If you want a personal shout out from me, it's from me to you. There's no, hey, work with this website. You sell $30, we're going to take $10 from that, so you get 20. Long story short, I was on Celebrity VM. I was promoting myself. I wasn't getting any viewers. And they're like, oh, the reason you're not getting any viewers or people asking you for recommendations and videos is they can't find you. So I kept getting into arguments saying, hey, I signed up to the website, and they finally said, you're not a big star, you're not a celebrity, no one knows who the hell you are, and we're going to block you. So I don't really use Celeb VM anymore. So if you want a personalized video from me, and by the way, I'm still waiting on a apology from them, not holding my breath. But if you want a personal shout out, it's your birthday, you're getting married, congratulations, anything, come to me directly, and I will work with you professionally. Not go through this third-party website BS where they're going to take a percentage and they may or may not pay you for the video. But anyway, that's a long story short, why I don't usually use third-party websites. Let's see, 2 people have their mics off. Denise, I know you're short on time. Did you want to ask your questions? Or anyone want to ask questions?
My question is simple.
I was trying to ask a question.
Oh, go ahead. Oh, she froze.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. My internet's not stable.
My question was simple. Tell us about your more exciting interviews, the ones that really excited you.
I have a bunch of them. The one I did with you was very exciting. We didn't just do one interview. We did 2 interviews.
That we did.
And we actually have to do one more if you're interested for part 3. But
Absolutely.
And now for me, I would say my favorite interviews that I actually get the blood pumping was Michael Wansberg. You can go to YouTube, type in Michael Wansberg. He does a show in Canada. called Off the Record. He interviewed a whole bunch of great celebrities. That was my favorite one. Kerrigan Mayhem from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Actually, everyone who's in this room right now, we did a great episode with. Not kissing your butts or anything, not saying that. It was a great episode. There's some interviews where I interviewed people where it's kind of like, yeah, okay, that's great. You know, but I give you an example of what I'm talking about. God rest his soul. Rob Axel, when he was on my demo years, I didn't see his facial reactions because we did a phone interview. When I would ask him acting questions, it was, snapping your fingers, 1, 2, 3, that's how fast he would answer it. But when I said, so Rob, how was life growing up? Good. Okay. Wonderful. Okay, how's everything else going? Good. Okay. Now look at my timer. It's like, it's only been 10 minutes. I can't do, this is like painful. But when I asked him something he liked, it was diarrhea of the mouth. He would jump right on it. It's great. But as soon as I said something like a normal based question, okay, great. It's like, what? That's why it has to be, and I found out recently, I feed off energy. So if you guys are upbeat, you're, asking those questions, feel the power of Hulkamania, all that fun stuff, then it's going to be a great interview. If you're just going to sit there like, okay, yeah, then that's kind of like, why are you even bother being a guest on the show? Then I could have easily had someone else. Unless you're constipated, then, then that's could be a possibility too.
It's always a possibility.
And it is freedom of speech, so you guys can express yourselves however you want. But the one thing for people out there, I'll put you on the spot, is you are one of the best famous chiefs and coaches out there. And I mentioned this before, I would love to be taught by you. Maybe you can give me more self-confidence. With everything you've seen of my work, how do you feel, and do you think it should be better? Being brutally honest.
No, I think you do a great job, and I think it's fascinating. First of all, I love your perspective with the people that you're interviewing, and I always find it to be really interesting. Listen, we all can be better interviewers, and we all could be better interviewees, but through the course of time, I think you've really done great, and I think you're learning all the time, and that's the most important thing.
No, absolutely. And I want your guys' honest opinion about this. When I went back on the Zoom, I was like, oh, let's see who messaged me on Facebook. Got like 5 messages. Oh, I never got the link, and what do you want me to do? It's like, I sent the link to everybody. And one of the messages said, I'm actually busy right now. Can you move your event to an hour later? Okay, whose event is this again? Is it your event or is it mine event? And it's like, you guys had a whole month. And you say, okay, we can't wait to be there. We will definitely be there. Foaming at the mouth. Can't wait. Keith Vance. I felt like I was at a Trump rally. Make Keith Vance look great again. All of that. That's like a little fun joke for everyone. And yet, day comes 10 minutes before. As soon as I'm about to hit that button, nothing. So you know what? The hell is them. And it's not my job to please people. This is who I am. I have a good heart. I have diarrhea of the mouth. I do stupidity. But you're either going to support me for who I am, or you can make friends with the door.
And look what a fantastic group you have here. I mean, when we started, we had 8 really fantastic people. Look at this, probably even 10. And look at this. We have some wonderful people here. So, you should be really proud of that.
No, absolutely. And it's like my hero, Bret the Hitman Hart, said, if you have one person out of thousands of people, if you have one person that shows up, never forsake your fans, because that one person you're going to make an impression on. I actually interviewed Kansas Michelle, and she said something similar. It's like, Kansas, it doesn't matter if you're interviewing thousands of people or that one person, like I said. As long as you do give 110% and you do the best you can, that's all that matters. And it doesn't matter if it's thousands all over the world watching you, hundreds in arena. It's that one person that says, once your time is up and you're no longer here, they can say it was you. One thing I remember about Keith is he made an impression on me, and that's what I want with my talk show. I like making impressions on people. I like extending my hands to you in friendship, like everyone here. It's the same exact thing. Kansas Michelle said to me, "Why did you want me on the show?" And I was starstruck because, it's Kansas Michelle. She's beautiful. And, she's on GoDaddy. She's a former WWE champion. I gave her one of the stories. I like giving people opportunities. I like to make a difference in people's lives. A lot of people are like, your show is about disabilities, but I don't have a disability. Why do you want me on the show? Okay, let me rephrase that. My show is about disabilities, but I'm turning myself into an example to show you that labels don't dictate who you are and who you're going to be. By having you on the show, you're supporting a message and you're making a good cause out of it. It's a good cause, good message, and you make a new friend out of it. And they're like, you couldn't just say that? No, then it takes away from the message of disabilities. But with some people, you have to break things down and spoon and feed them. But with that being said, we're going to take a quick commercial break. And during our special commercial break, we're going to, if you guys can do this too, send me a clip of "Listen Me a Happy 7-Year Anniversary." You got to see all the recommendations that I have. And when we come back with the last 9 minutes, I'm going to pass it over to you. You can ask me anything you want. And like I said, we're supporting a good cause and you're making a new friend out of it. So it's a win-win.
Hi, I'm Paisley Blackburn.
I'm Ashley Burgess.
Hi, my name is Jeanette Abney.
Hi, I'm Sharon Spank.
Hey, this is Samantha Moore.
Hi, I'm Melody Jones.
Hi, my name is Becky Yee.
Hi, you're watching the Keith Andrew Network.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Keith Andrew Network. It is 7 years, 7.5 years of the Keith Andrew Network, showing you that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. You just prove to them and get them out to something. I'm here as 4 of my good friends, and with that being said, I'm going to pass the show over to you guys. Was there anything you wanted to know, anything you wanted to talk about? This is your time.
So I'm Beth Bridges, and I'm known as the networking motivator. So I attended, I think it's up to about 3,000 networking events in about the last 15 years.
Wow.
So yeah, it was a lot. And so I forget now how Keith found me. Maybe it was a mutual connection. And when he reached out, we did the interview. And I was really impressed by this. I know this is not why Keith did this, but I was really impressed by it as a strategy for building relationships. And this is a business strategy that a lot of bloggers use and podcasters use. And, Keith had his own reasons, which he's very clear about, just developing self-confidence and being an example. But Keith, I really appreciated not only you having me on, but you've reached out, like you said, you were talking about, hey, you don't want somebody to think where to go. You've reached out on a regular occasion, and I really appreciate that. And I think a lot of people aren't that good with their networking, so they do something like this, and then they don't follow up and they don't stay connected. And I really appreciate the fact that you have done that. And I want to congratulate you too. 7.5 years. Most people, there's like 1,000 times more abandoned blogs and podcasts out there than there are ones that have lasted half that long. So It shows a lot of persistence, and I think I can tell. I'm trying to remember how long it's been.
So 2015 or 16.
Really?
You should definitely do a part 2.
We should do a part 2. Things have changed a lot for me, and so we should do a part 2. So not only your technology has really evolved, and you seem so much more comfortable, and really, I don't care who you are. I don't care if you have, quote, learning disabilities or anything like that going on. For a lot of people, video is hard. And I have people that I work with, and I just tell them, you have to practice. That's a big, big part of it. And so the fact that you know, like you said yourself, it takes you longer. Well, it does take some people longer, and it takes more practice, and persistence and sticking with it is such a huge part of it. So I can tell. I know you're probably still really super self-critical, aren't we all? We're all so self-critical. I can tell you're just so much more comfortable on video, and you're really great at telling your story and getting your message across. And I really appreciate that. And I'm glad I was able to, I'm really glad I was able to make it to your celebration here. And so congratulations. Thank you.
Yeah.
No, I appreciate that. You know, as I was saying before, and we're about to run out of time again. I really hate this stupid thing. Maybe I should just pay the $15 to make it go away. But with the last 9 minutes left. And it's funny, it hasn't even been 40 minutes. I keep setting the timer, you know. Well, before actually you guys came on, it was actually 10 minutes before. But anyway, it doesn't make a difference. But I might I will do something to acknowledge 8-year anniversary, 9, 10 is definitely, I do plan on something. You know, once the Corona thing's over, we can, if you guys are willing to travel, you know, maybe we can go out for dinner or something. You know, that's completely up to you. But the reason I don't want to do something every year, and Ryan asked me, that's why 7, because my dad's like, when people only do something for special numbers, 5, 10, 15, and I didn't even do something when I first started. It was only a year ago, from a 6th year, I'm like, I want to do something. Then I'm like, okay, we're going to go back, because I was working at Walmart. Okay, a year later, we're going to go back out and got to get dinner or something. Then this happened, and then I got a whole list of people. Well, it's supposed to be 48 people here. Well, 2 already said no, so let's just knock it down to 40. 40 people are supposed to be here. But out of the 40, it's you 4 great people. But yet it's kind of like, where did everyone else go? Was the last 10 minutes left? They could have just said, hey, something came up. Not like, yes, we would definitely be there. Yet you're sitting here with your hands in your pockets thinking, the hell just happened?
You know what, though? You can't take it personally. I not only attended events, but I was the producer or the developer of probably 3/4 of those events. And it's very typical. It's that way across the board for all kinds of events. And it's tough, because it's a little discouraging, and it's hard to not take it personally, but you can't, because just, you know, I think one of the things that's happened is everybody is like Zoom fatigued. They're so, you know, right? Like right now, it seems like, you know, if you did have an in-person party, people would be like, yes, in person. This is so great. We're so tired of being on Zoom. So yeah, you can't take it that way, and you just enjoy the people who do show up. And then a lot of times people, they would be so funny with my events. They'd be like, oh, I missed it. Yeah, you did. And at least this way you've got it recorded, and they can enjoy it, and they can hear your message. And, you know, you can just reach out to people and reconnect and let them see what's going on here with a handful of people. And that's always...
No, absolutely. And it's
yeah,
just
it's pretty typical. Yeah.
it's the fact that people show up that has the bigger impact than people that say, they're going to be there, but not really. But I do have a couple questions for you guys off the air. But for wrapping up, I'm going to pass the show over to you guys. You can ask me one last hard-hitting question so everyone gets a chance.
I'm proud. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Tell you I'm proud of your resilience. Actors know, and anybody who does any acting or anything, auditioning, you get the door slammed in your face or told no. You don't focus on that. You focus on your next interview and who you're networking to get the next person. And that is a test of your talent and resilience and perseverance and positivity. And I'm proud of you for that. And Rembrandt never sold a painting when he was alive, and he didn't stop painting. He didn't stop him at all. And that's why I act. I could get 3,000 no's. I could never work again from this day till the rest of my life when I die, but I'm never going to stop trying, because I don't do it because I want to be famous or I want to be an actor. I do it because I love it. And I think that I see that in you. I see that in your personality, that you love what you do. And you love interviewing people, and people respond to you. And the ones that don't, like he said, don't focus on it. You're leaving a legacy, and you're doing what you're doing and making your life amazing and helping people along the way. So very proud of you for that.
Yeah, I'm very thankful.
Yep, definitely. I mean, for me, what I was gonna say something similar to that, Keith. I have a son with special needs, so not only do you inspire me, because you've inspired me to see what my son can do more than where he is today, and that, believe you me, there's a lot of people that see that. You may not hear it, and that's kind of back to Denise's comments. When you go and audition for a job, you hear nothing, right? So just like you don't always hear stuff, but you know what? You're here 7 years later, or 7.5 years later, over 600 interviews. I mean, I don't think I could do that. And, that's, you have to celebrate that, and don't worry about if it's 7 years or 5 years or 10 years. You celebrate when you want to celebrate, because you have a right to celebrate every success you have. And actors know that there's successes that are like this. Sometimes they're like this. There's no standard to it, but we should all celebrate our successes no matter the size of them. And, Keith, I'm here because I support you. I believe in what you're doing. And, I just congratulate you for getting as far as you've gotten so far. And I just look forward to seeing where you're going to get in the next 5 years or the next 7 years.
No, absolutely. The countdown's about to kick us off. I just want to say thank you for sticking with us. You four are great. Keep in touch. And we should definitely hang out at some point and do a part 2, part 3, or part 2 for some people, part 3 with some people. But on behalf of the Keith Andrew Network, I just want to say thank you and God bless.